In the rugged heart of Indian Territory, where the land itself seemed to shift beneath your feet, one deputy U.S. Marshal stood apart, not just for his courage, but for his heritage. His name was Bill Colbert, a man of Black and Choctaw ancestry, and one of the fiercest trackers to ever ride for the federal court at Fort Smith. Colbert served during the same era as Bass Reeves, Grant Johnson, and Rufus Cannon, a time when the frontier was wild, the borders were blurred, and justice depended on the few who were brave enough to enforce it. But Colbert had something rare. He understood the land in a way few others could. Raised within Choctaw culture, he learned early how to read the earth, the bend of a blade of grass, the direction of a broken branch, the faintest imprint of a boot heel in soft soil. To most marshals, these were invisible signs. To Colbert, they were a map. Outlaws feared him because he didn't just follow trails, he followed people. He could sense when a fugitive was tired, when they were desperate, when they were doubling back to throw off pursuit. His instincts were so sharp that other deputies often said, "If Colbert is tracking you, you're already caught." But his skill wasn't just physical, it was cultural. Colbert moved between worlds, Black, Choctaw, and Federal, with a fluency that made him invaluable. He understood tribal boundaries, customs, and diplomacy. He knew when to approach with caution, when to speak, and when to listen. In a region where misunderstandings could spark violence, Colbert's presence often kept the peace. He rode long distances, often alone, carrying warrants into territory where federal law had little reach unless a marshal was willing to risk everything, and Colbert was. He brought in murderers, thieves, and fugitives who believed the wilderness would protect them. But the wilderness was Colbert's ally, not theirs. One story tells of a fugitive who crossed a river 3 times to hide his trail. Colbert found him anyway, not by the footprints, but by the way the riverbank grass had been pressed down by a man who paused to catch his breath. That was Colbert's gift. He didn't just see the trail, he saw the story behind it. Though his name isn't as widely known today, Bill Colbert was one of the essential lawmen who helped stabilize Indian Territory during a time of chaos. His work protected tribal citizens, settlers, and travelers alike. And like so many Black and Native lawmen of the era, his legacy was nearly erased, overshadowed by myths, ignored by textbooks, and buried under decades of silence. But here, his story stands tall. Bill Colbert wasn't the loudest marshal, he wasn't the most famous, but he was one of the most skilled, a man whose heritage, instincts, and courage made him a force of justice on a land that desperately needed it. He proved that identity is strength, and that justice can ride on the shoulders of those who walk between nations. This is Black Justice Untold, the stories they tried to erase, now remembered. If this moved you, like, share, and subscribe so we can keep reclaiming our history together. Our stories deserve to be seen, heard, and remembered.